when you read Genesis 22, Abraham was told right in the beginning, grab that boy that I promised you and get over to that mountain. You about to offer him up as a burnt offering. Abraham said, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You understand? So it's wild because when you read James, the first chapter, 1 and 13, it clearly says that God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempted he any man. So if it's a sin for Abraham or any one of us to murder or sacrifice our children, that means God is the one that tempted him with the sin. And Abraham was willing to sin to prove his devotion to his deity. If you look at the actions of what was going on, you can clearly call it. It's just people are under the fear of an eternal roasting. That's burning in hell ever. Like you really believe the Creator is going to roast your chestnuts, whatever. You understand? And see, so most of us operate is based off fear. It's a fear-based understanding because you don't want to fight downwind. You don't want to raise your voice. You don't want to do anything wrong because you're under the fear of a Holocaust or a burnt offering forever.
And
so
somebody,
information, Brother Max. Awesome.
And somebody, I wanted to ask you. Somebody asked a question about the vampires that. And I go personal, man. Somebody like my father, where you wasn't taking no pork chop out of his mouth. You wasn't taking no. And she asked the question. She said, for these vampires, as most of them, they will not heed to this message. They will reject it, and they will die in the sin of the shedding of innocent blood. And she was asking, does that mean they're going to burn in hell? And I said, no, of course not. I said, there's a judgment/reformation process, and I wanted you to explain, that more. What happens to to those who live in utter rebellion against the Creator by living a life of destroying His creation unrepentantly?
It's wild too when you're dealing with our people, man, or any people. They're bullheaded. The Bible calls these people stiff-necked and rebellious. So that's what you're dealing with, man. You know what I mean? Stiff-necked, rebellious folk that died before they let go of the devotion. But to answer the sister's question, there are all types of concepts when you unplugging from the matrix, dealing with Christianity. Dealing with Hebrew Israelite isms, Orthodox mainstream type. It's a lot of things you got to unlearn. One of them is that the Almighty Creator, the who my brother calls the God of life and health, is going to throw you in hell forever and burn you. The judgment is what you go through when your health fails you. When you read a lot of people haven't read it, but it's called the Essene Gospel of Peace. Yahshua the Nazarene, or they're saying, pulled a parasite out of a man as long as his body. The man was almost blind, brother. The whites of his eyes was yellow. He had a crooked back, arthritis, like every disease you can think of in the world. This man had, and he came to who we call Messiah to be healed, right? And he ain't just to pray over him and none of that. He showed them how to get that parasite out of it. And once the parasite was pulled out, this joker, Yahshua the Essene, he said, there go your Satan right there. Right? And your hell is when your body is in a state of acidosis and not alkalinity. When your body is just inflamed from all this flesh chewing and you know what I mean, processed foods and feel me, this is your judgment. When it comes upon you, and then you get older in life, and everything starts shutting down, and because you wasn't putting the proper fuel into your body. So that's the judgment. That's the judgment on it. Now, if you want to talk about any type of judgment after you leave this mortal life, or whatever, anything that you spill, you got to clean up. So. When you reach the other side, death doesn't ease you or release you from any responsibility or accountability that you have. We got lessons over there, what happens when you die over on the channel, Honor, Humility, STA. We got lessons over all that. But to make a long story short, whoever you've harmed, whoever you've harmed, killed, murdered, did anything to it, you didn't clean that up before, you know what I mean? You cross over, then guess what? You still got to face that. There's spiritual retaliation on the other side, but it's not God getting justice. It's the person you killed. The person you killed, he waiting on you. He waiting on you to cross over as a newborn spirit, and he's at you. He's at you. You know what I mean? He's very angry. You murdered him. You hung him. You killed him. When it comes down to the food, though, a lot of you flesh eaters, all of you flesh eaters, when you cross over and it's time for some type of substance or whatever, you receive the vapors from the slaughterhouses. So imagine that you're smelling and taking in the vapors from blood and flesh, and it's horrible. It's horrific smells and all that until you're able to wean yourself up off of that. You feel me? But you're not showing up and getting into the Creator's program of resurrection with false gods on your lips and with flesh in your mouth. It's not happening. It's not happening. You'll be bound as a wandering spirit stuck on this earth right here until you get yourself together. You see what I'm saying? So to answer the sister's question, the judgment is when your body fails you in this life. You understand? And your body's in a state of acidosis. Meaning it's not balanced. It's not alkaline at all. You're inflamed. You got every disease under the sun. You're stroking out. You understand? That's the judgment you deal with her. But when you cross over, you still so caught up on your loin meat and your steaks and your burgers and all that, then you receive as a newborn spirit the vapor from the slaughterhouses. You've seen these videos, Brother Nathan, when these cows are throats are being slit. And can you imagine how all that smells? Yeah. You imagine the horrific smell. Now, the temple in Jerusalem was a slaughterhouse. Right. That was the smell that you would get in the slaughterhouses today. That was the smell that went down in Jerusalem and all other temples in the world that was slaughtering animals. That was the exact same smell, horrendous smell you had to deal with